Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sitting here talking to myself. What's up, guys? Today is one of the biggest days, really, all year. Today we have the FOMC decision. An accompanying press conference. We've got Microsoft, IBM, Tesla, Meta earnings after the FOMC decision. It's one of the biggest days to lead the market future, I would say. We already know what the Federal Reserve is going to do today. They're going to pause rates. They're not going to raise. They're not going to cut for sure. They're going to pause rates almost certainly. I mean, they could always do something else, but it's pretty improbable that they're going to do something else, right? They're almost certain going to cut. They're almost certain going to pause rates today. And again, let me know what you guys think down there in chat. But yeah, it's a huge day for markets. It's a huge day. We're taking a look at the Dow here. Let me put some other charts up. Hold on. But again, not just today, but what comes after today is incredibly important. Incredibly important. So we have, again, the Fed decision today. We've got Microsoft, Meta, Tesla, IBM earnings following all this. And this is in a period where the market has been pretty volatile over the last 3, 4, 5 days. Really, the last week has been kind of crazy in markets. Tomorrow we have GDP data. Friday we have PCE, personal consumption expenditure. Thursday afternoon we've got Apple earnings. And so it's just a huge freaking period of time, honestly. Yeah, the important thing is his tone during the press conference, what he says. Yeah, gold's almost up to 2,800, man. Gold's been flying on pessimism. Like, look at how much it's run on a 30-minute chart. Look at gold. It's gapped up. It's still pushing. Yeah, we'll put this up so people know what we're going to do, right? It's 99% chance for a pause. It's 99 to 1. It's really a little bit less than that. It's like 99.5 to 0.5 is really what it is. What's up, Roger, Beach, Sam, Dragos, Faye, Taker, Blink, Psy, AZ, ER, L, Band, Chris, Biggie. What's up, guys? Good morning. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna pause rates, right? Like that's almost inevitable. Like we're gonna pause rates. It's not a shock that we're gonna pause rates. Everybody kind of understands this already, really. But it really is like one of the biggest days in the market this year for sure. Like this year, it's a really, really, really important day in markets. All right, chat. Yeah, market's up crazy amounts. Apple ripped up yesterday, right? Did it end up pulling back some? I know when I last looked at Apple. Yeah, look at how much Apple went up yesterday. This is one of the crazier things. I think they're saying Apple benefits from, what is it called? Is it Everseek? What is it called? Or what's the DeepSeek? Yeah, DeepSeek. And then Pawn sending me some stuff this morning about Alibaba. Alibaba released a new version of its Qwen 2.5 AI model that it claimed surpassed the highly acclaimed DeepSeek version 3. The unusual timing of the Qwen 2.5 Max is released on the first day of the Lunar New Year when most people are off work with their families. Interesting. Yeah, so Alibaba. Yeah, we recently sold our Alibaba too, but we already wrote it up to like super high levels. We're very green on the year already, to be honest. But we definitely missed out on this little pop. And then we're looking at the Dow. We had a very green day yesterday, man. We're working on a video right now. We should have the video out. Tomorrow, I would say. Like tomorrow, right after Apple earnings, I think we're going to debut this video. Because look, like I can show you guys like my graphs here in January. So this is my January stats. This is my stats in January. And so we're going to build we're creating a video detailing what system this is, like how we're doing what we're doing. In the video we're putting out, we've got a lot of like support and resistance information, like because one of the things I realize is my levels guide me a lot in these trades, and so kind of talking about how we find our levels, what we look for, like little moments of time that we can find with good risk reward, stuff like that. That's what we're looking at. And so yeah, be on the lookout for that video. That video should be coming tomorrow. It's still very early. It's only 6:15. Baba up a huge amount. Yeah, they're almost certainly going to pause. Conditions are similar to the last flash crash. In what way? In what regard? Not that it'll ever happen, but it would be hilarious if Powell raised rates. Yeah, he's not going to, but yeah, it would be crazy if he did. Honestly, that would be just shocking the system, man. There ain't no way he's going to do it, though. I see this thing that says 15 rules for men. One of them, the first one, is never get a haircut on the day of a special event. I mean, it doesn't have any type of explanation here. But I just got to kind of chuckle at these type of things, man. I think I've told you guys about the time I went to Walmart. And I was at Walmart already. I'm at Walmart. I'm with my wife, Carol, who's like shopping. And I needed a haircut. And so I'm like, I'm a creature of routine and convenience. And so I see the Walmart super whatever Wonder Cut, whatever the Walmart place is called. And I'm like, hey, why don't I just stop in Walmart to get a haircut? And I go inside this haircut place, bro. And they had this dude. I should have been immediately skeptical. Nothing against bald men, but he was bald. And again, nothing against bald men. I know Pawn's bald. Nothing against bald men at all, right? It's just kind of a joke. But I go there, and this dude just seemed off. Like, the way this dude was behaving seemed off. But he was the only guy there, and he was like, oh, you need your haircut? And I'm like, yeah. And so he goes to cut my hair, bro. This dude cuts straight up cuts my ear to where my ear is, like, bleeding. But I'm, like, so nervous because this dude's got, like, scissors and stuff right next to me. And he seems a little off to me that I just kind of sit quiet. And it got to a point where my ear started bleeding. like genuinely bleeding. And I knew he cut my ear, and he knew he cut my ear, but like I guess he didn't know that I knew he cut my ear. And so we just had this awkward like maybe like 5-minute period where I'm sitting there looking at my wife like, you know, like what the heck is going on, bro, this dude. And then he ended up cutting, actually, like I actually have a picture of this. I actually saw this recently in my memories on my phone. He cut both ears to where both sides of my ears were bleeding. He told me crazy things like thinning shears were like illegal, and if you're caught with thinning shears, which are like a type of shears that thin your hair intentionally, that you could go to jail or something. Like, he just started hitting me with a bunch of stuff, dude. Again, I really genuinely thought that this man just kind of like lied on his application, and they never really tested him. He's like, yeah, I can cut hair, and they're like, okay, you can cut hair, and he's just started trying to cut my hair. I end up having to leave and go to Sport Clips and just get another haircut done. My wife still reminds me about it, and her lesson in it is never go to Walmart haircut place. You know, don't skimp out on your haircut. Man. But yeah. Ridiculous. You know, the worst thing is that I still tip the guy too. I remember, like, I'm like a wimp. I'm not a wimp. I genuinely try to be a nice guy. He seemed like he was struggling. He didn't have much going on, and so, in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have tipped him. It might have given him the wrong impression that he was good at haircuts. But yeah, in hindsight, I shouldn't have tipped him, and I should have just moved on with my life. I think I cut it a little short, and it got really awkward, and so I was like, here's $20, bro. Let me get out of here, you know? Like, let me leave. You think we should worry about the new Alibaba AI model, you think? Hope this doesn't sound too dumb. I mean, the only dumb question is no question. Yeah, no. I think I don't know if we should worry. The market certainly isn't worrying. The market's mostly up. Are you bullish or bearish? On today's FOMC meeting. Bull, bear, vote on the poll. Let me know how you feel. Yeah, I mean, listen, Major, this was like 20-year-old John. Right? Like, this was like 20-year-old John. This was like a long time ago. This is when I first met Carol. And so I was like a young, you know, skinny, insecure teenager. You know what I mean? It's so, yeah, this, I'm not, like, look, I'm really not one that makes a scene. I just kind of make a mental note never to do it again. You know? I'm not going to ruin that dude's day. You know, maybe he was nervous. Maybe he knew how to cut hair and he was just nervous. It was his first time at his job and he didn't know how to interact with people and he was just nervous. I don't freaking know, man. And he didn't botch it so bad to where it wasn't fixable. Like, he ended up cutting my hair and like, he left it long enough to where I could fix it. With that said, though, guys, look at Apple dumping down here. Let me stray away from the haircut conversation and look at Apple like dump down here. I wonder why this is. Let me see if there's some news. Coinbase announces addition of 4 new members to Global Advisory Council. The EU Commission proposes a ban on preliminary aluminum and alloys for Russia in the 16th sanction package. T-Mobile posted EPS and revenue earnings. The 30-year mortgage rate came out. And it showed up at exactly what it was last week at 7.02%. Corning posted EPS and revenue. Thank you, Donut, for the donation, Jeffrey. I don't think so. I don't think they like each other. I'm not really picking sides, but I don't think they like each other. Yeah, all good, Major. It's all good, brother. Like I said, I can make fun of, 20-year-old John. You know? Yeah, I was an insecure little jerk. But But I wasn't mean. Like I've never been a mean person. Like I've never been like a cruel person, I should say. Like I might be humorous and like make jokes sometimes at others' expense to be funny, but it's never mean-spirited. At least I never mean it to be. And I've never been one to like try to make people feel bad, you know. I try to be a good person. That's the point I'm trying to make. Yeah. Hey man, tell me something. Why is there no concern about their servers being in overseas when they were freaking out about? Yeah, I mean, what you have to understand is that this is an AI model, right? There's a difference between an AI model, which very limited usage is going to happen from the US, versus TikTok, which has literal hundreds of millions or billions of users daily. There's a massive difference between the amount of data that each one is going to get. The ceiling at which DeepSeek runs is not going to be anywhere close to the ceiling of TikTok, which has hundreds of millions or billions of users. The ceiling is nowhere near each other. They're not even comparable in that regard, right? And so there's just a difference. And if it ever got big enough to where it was comparable with TikTok, then they would do the same thing to it. I'm trying to figure out why Apple's dropping. Does anybody see why? I'm looking here. You know, guys, I really got to say, I love this new monitor, dude. This huge, ultra wide monitor. It makes it so I can get everything freaking done. It makes running a stream like this super easy. And I can write it off, bro. I only use this for work. That's it. That's all I use it for. So, and I could write it off. It's honestly cool. All right, Apple, guys, let me see. So, ARM China eyes leadership changes, AI boom, and U.S.-China relationships reshape industry. So, ARM, which is ARM stock, their Chinese venture is eyeing Chen Feng, a former Rockchip Electronics co-officer, as its CEO, taking over from co-CEO Lu Renchen and Eric Chen. The appointment would be effective after this week's Lunar New Year holiday, according to Bloomberg. I don't see if there's any other reason that Apple dipped like this. And this was just Apple, which is strange, right? Like, Apple just had a big sell. So I'm wondering if, the only thing else, I'm wondering if this is like somebody selling some shares. Like old Warren. I'm speculating here. Do not take anything as truth. I'm purely speculating. And again, guys, Alibaba, big story of the day. They basically said DeepSeek, that their AI model, I think it's called Quinn, is better than DeepSeek according to them. And Alibaba up big too, $99 a share, looking good. All right, guys. Downgrade from Oppenheimer. Thank you. So apparently somebody's saying Apple got a downgrade from Oppenheimer. I don't see it though. Let me see. I'm talking about this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes ago. So I don't see Oppenheimer downgrade. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I just don't know. I don't see it. I need confirmation somewhere. Let me look at somewhere else. Hold on. Go away. Apple. Yeah, I don't see a Oppenheimer downgrade recently. I'm not saying. Oh yeah, you are correct, sir. You are absolutely correct. This happened about 4 minutes ago. Okay, so yeah, Oppenheimer downgraded Apple to perform from outperform. You are absolutely correct. Thank you, sir. Appreciate the update. I'm sorry I ever doubted you. Aqua Guy or whomever you are. What's your name? Yeah, Aqua Guy. I'm sorry I ever doubted you guys. You were right, I was wrong. You're smart, I'm dumb. You're big, I'm little, you know? Good job. Nah, man, I'm just naturally skeptical. Yeah, there's the news right there. Again, Apple downgraded to perform from outperforming Oppenheimer is what the news is. Again, we don't really have any like 8:30 economic reports today. We had 30-year mortgage rates that are out. We got the good trades balance dropping at 8:30, so that's something. We got the ECB monetary policy statement. So here's an interesting thing. The ECB rate decision is today as well, right? So the ECB is doing their rate decision today at 8:45. So really interesting dynamic there. And the Bank of Canada is doing their rate statement too. Hold on, wait. Yeah, so the ECB is doing their monetary policy statement. The Bank of Canada is doing their monetary policy statement. So they're all doing it today, basically, you know, a couple hours ahead of ours, which is an interesting dynamic. No? All right, guys. Apple's starting to rebound back up after a downgrade here. We'll see if it holds. Yeah, so I don't know. It says today. At least this is what it says. It says the ECB monetary policy statement is today, Wednesday, January 29th. Let me scroll on over to tomorrow. Yeah, you're right. Now it says the ECB monetary policy statement is tomorrow. You're correct. But for whatever reason it says today. Maybe the Bank of Canada is today. I'm looking at a couple different sources. One of them has it stated for 8:15 today. It just looks like they're wrong. Okay, gotcha. But yeah, we got the 30-year mortgage rate coming out at 7+% again. 7+%. Yeah, my day is packed, bro. I'm not gonna have any free time today, dude. So this is my day today, guys. Today, I am covering this live stream. You're welcome. Covering this live stream. At 11:15, I'm going on Top Step TV. I got to cut out early because we're going to be starting our FOMC coverage at about noon, my time, right? 11:15 Central Time. So 12:15 Eastern, we're hopping on Top Step TV. Only for 30 minutes, though. 30 minutes later, we're going to cut it, and we're going to start our own FOMC live stream covering the FOMC decision and accompanying press conference. Following that, we're immediately going to go to, I think, right? Let me see. I'm trying to think of when this is over. The FOMC decision, yeah. Honestly, immediately following that, we got Tesla earnings, right? We got Tesla, Apple, we got Tesla, Microsoft, IBM, Meta earnings all releasing after the closing bell. I believe we got Meta earnings at 4:30, at 3:30 Eastern time. Let me see. Meta earnings call. Let me confirm this. Meta earnings call is at 5. Tesla earnings call. The thing I hate about Tesla's earnings call, though, I got to take my blue belt exam today. Yeah, Tesla earnings call is at 5:30 Eastern. Meta is at 5, and then Microsoft earnings call is at 5:30, right? So we're probably going to have to skip Microsoft's earnings call. I usually cover it, but I'm not going to be able to cover it here. But yeah, at 5 o'clock, we got whatever it is. We got Meta earnings call. We're just going to stream, right? So we're going to stream continuously from 2 to 4. And so basically we're streaming like all freaking day today, bro. Like literally all day, no break. And then as soon as this done, like Carol's gonna have to close out my FOMC or my earnings stream because I gotta go take my blue belt exam at Jiu-Jitsu today. So man, we're not gonna have a freaking break today, guys. Yeah, every country's going to have an AI system. That's not, honestly, it's not as big of a shock as you think it is. Yeah, today's a ridiculous day, bro. It really is, man. Today is honestly kind of crazy. Is a recession coming? I don't necessarily think so. I'm more worried about a bear market in the stock market, which doesn't always correlate with a recession. If anything, like we don't really see recession data in markets. But we do see some stock market weakness over the last 3-4 weeks. And so I'm mostly worried not about a recession necessarily, but more so about a correction in the stock market. Yeah. I passed my HVAC master license exam. Hey, congrats, Kevin. Nice job, dude. Question: can you pass that without education? I'm a pretty good test taker. I'm not trying to be like obnoxious, but I'm a pretty good test taker. You know, like I'm to a point where I would love to be able to try to pass the bar exam and be an attorney. But they changed the freaking laws because big education got involved, and now they're just trying to milk money from everybody. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, you used to be able to pass the bar, and boom, you're an attorney. You got to be an apprentice for a year or two or whatever it is. But you could be an attorney by just passing the freaking bar exam. At least you used to be. Now you got to do like 6 years of education. The big education system got involved. And honestly, a lot of people would argue that an apprenticeship system was a better system than going to freaking school, learning like unnecessary, somewhat redundant information for 6 years. Experience is going to be king in a lot of those areas. And so I'm assuming the HVAC has an educational requirement, no? Blue belt trading? Yeah, it really is. Like, honestly, I would be like, I like getting my blue belt. It's cool and all. It gives me a little bit of like validity or credibility in jiu-jitsu, but I wish jiu-jitsu was more monetizable. I really do. Like, I would create content about it if I thought that I could find like a good. Number one, I'm just a spazzy white belt right now. I'm top 3 worst ever. But I would love it if it was more monetizable. I would create stuff about it if I could. It's just not very profitable. It's not very monetizable. Like, opening up a jiu-jitsu gym, terrible business. Horrible business. It takes years to show a profit, and most, like 90% of them fail. Like, the amount of people that fail day trading versus opening up a jiu-jitsu gym are probably very similar, to be honest. The percentages there. Yeah, that sucks. I mean, that's good, Kevin. Congrats to you, brother. Right, happy for you, man. Make your money now, brother. Make your money. It's time. You did the work. Good job, bro. Make your money. Yeah, man. Like, you used to be able to pass a freaking bar exam and be immediately, boom, you're an attorney. You just got to get an apprenticeship stuff down. That's arguably how it still should be. But again, big education got involved. That's why, like, I'm for free college. And when I say this, people are like, oh my gosh, you're a communist. And I'm not. Like, I think college should be free because big education ruins everything, right? Like, eventually, how much are we going to start paying for college? 50, 60, 70 grand a year? Why not follow the rest of the world's standard? The rest of the world's got good colleges and they're free. Like, why are we like isolated here paying 40 grand a semester? It's obscene. It's crazy. And people that don't really understand the standard of the rest of the world, they don't really understand like how ridiculous it is that we're sitting here paying these crazy amounts. And the big education system's just laughing all the way to the bank on it. Again, I'm not trying to get political because I'm a capitalist, so I can't get too upset with them. But still, make it free. Like, follow the rest of the world in that regard. Why do so many day traders fail? Because day trading's hard. Not only is it hard, but you can trade great for a long time and then have one slip up and ruin everything. And so it needs deep discipline. Like, it needs really good discipline, and that's something a lot of people that are attracted to day trading do not have, including myself, right? Like, I'm not the best disciplined guy sometimes. And to be completely successful day trading, like with longevity, you got to have some good discipline. And again, that's something a lot of people attracted to trading are gamblers in nature. And so, they're the opposite of what you need to be. And so, yeah, it's just, that's how it goes. Yeah, the issue I have with it is the debt issue, right? Like, so, because it's predatory, right? Like, college loans, they're the only unforgiven debt that you can get in the U.S., basically, right? The only debt that you have to pay for your lifetime, like for the lifetime that you have it, is college loans, right? And they target freaking 18-year-olds with no sense of, like, financial responsibility or literacy. And they hit them with, hey, guys, some of them don't even use it for college. I know somebody that got a college loan, never once used it for college, and just kind of lived good for a year or two. Honestly, he got himself kind of like addicted to substances because, you go up to an 18-year-old, you give him 60 grand. Like, that's going to happen to a percentage of them. And so you go up to an 18-year-old who has no financial literacy or responsibility, and you say, hey, I'll give you $60,000. Right now, a lot of them are gonna be like, sure, give it to me, and then they're in debt. The interest is gonna tick off over and over, like, constantly every year, and they're gonna become more and more in debt as time goes on. And again, 18-year-olds are naive. I was terrible when I was 18. I made terrible decisions financially, absolutely horrible financial decisions. I remember I wanted an Xbox, and so I took out a credit card to get it, bought an Xbox at GameStop. And then I think I just never paid it, to be honest. Luckily, like, as I've become more, do not do that. That's a horrible idea. But as I became more credit and money literate, I, realized that you could dispute it. And so I ended up, like, disputing it 4 or 5 years later and getting it knocked off my, credit report. But if I could go back, I would never do that. That was a horrible decision. But my point is, 18-year-olds are irresponsible. Anyways, guys, let me get off this rant that I'm on right now. The FOMC decision is today. 99 to 1% likely that we're going to pause interest rates. 99 to 1. Really, it's 0.5 to 99.5 that we are going to pause interest rates. We're going to keep them at 425 to 450, which is where we're currently at, which, again, you hear basis points. The easiest way is that this is quarters of a percent. So 400 basis points is 4%. 450 basis points is 4.5%. We're currently at 4.25 to 4.5% in the federal funds rate. And what this is the rate banks charge each other to hold and lend money overnight. Eventually, these interest rates trickle into everything else. What these rates directly influence are home equity lines of credit. They're directly influenced by the federal funds rate. Adjustable rate loans and mortgages are directly influenced by the federal funds rate, which is currently, again, at 4.25 to 4.5%. Eventually, it trickles into everything else, though. And the Federal Reserve will use this to control interest rates around the country. Now, if we are in a period where things are looking bleak for the economy, where people are out of jobs and unemployment is spiking and everything looks weak, like we're headed towards, like, recessions, depression, stuff like that, then the Fed will be what's called dovish, usually. Dovish Fed means a less restrictive monetary policy. And what do they mean by less restrictive? They mean lower interest rates. Because by lowering interest rates, people tend to spend more when they have cheaper access to loans and money and leverage. And so with lower rates, people tend to take out more loans and then in turn spend it. And that stimulates the economy to a certain extent. And so if you really want to stimulate the economy, the Fed will lower interest rates. They can also do something called quantitative easing, which is a form of money printing where they're basically creating bank reserves out of thin air. And then they're using those bank reserves to buy bonds and other financial assets. And what this does is injects liquidity into those markets and ultimately allows interest rates to be a little bit more dovish, a little less restrictive, to go down some. Now, there's some consequences of behaving this way. Like in 2020, the Fed will typically do this whenever things are looking bleak. 2020, things were looking pretty bleak, if everybody remembers. And so they stepped in and did quantitative easing. They brought interest rates down to almost zero. If we look at the federal funds rate here in that period of time, if we look at the federal funds rate in this period of time, here's a 5-year graph. You can see we brought interest rates down to essentially zero in this period of time because we needed to save us from the lockdowns and the global, disaster that everything was in. And so they brought interest rates down. They did quantitative easing. And, eventually when we look at, if we have to take a look at what happened to inflation, the consequence of all this money printing and stimulus checks that we did in 2020 was inflation. So if you look at like a CPI inflation graph, you can see the consequence of all this stuff was inflation, right? So following 2020, in the really dovish Fed that we had, the consequence was this big old spike right here. We had a huge spike in CPI inflation and PCE inflation, and this is why people are still unhappy to this day. Just to give you like an understanding of why we're at where we're at, this is why people are still unhappy, is because inflation doesn't actually go down. The best we can actually do is slow it down. It'll go down in rare instances in like deep depressions and recessions like we got in 2008, but outside of that, it doesn't really go down. We want to slow it down. So here's basically 10% inflation yearly. This is about 2.5% to 3% where we're currently at now, which is a much more reasonable level. So we just want to slow it down. But once it goes up like this, people are stuck with those prices. And we're still kind of stuck with them. Like we're still paying 2-3x more than we paid in 2020 or 2019 now because of that big inflation spike that we saw. And so if inflation is a problem like this, the Fed will take what's called a hawkish stance, where they will do a bunch of rate hikes. So again, if you look here, they paused rates, or they lowered rates to almost zero. They paused rates at those super low levels, and then they started raising rates to combat inflation once inflation started to spike. And so they did a bunch of rate hikes starting in January or February of 2022, and they raised the federal funds rate up to over 5%. Up to well over 5%, and then they paused rates where they were for like a year straight. They only recently started cutting rates here, which was I think in like September of last year. They only started cutting rates and trying to bring rates back down. But we had a really hawkish Fed trying to combat inflation, and it kind of worked to a certain extent. If you look at inflation here, we did get some progress in terms of inflation. Here's the inflation graph, again, dropping in a similar correlation to like what I just showed you, right? So this is, we did have inflation slow from all that hawkish Federal Reserve, sentiment. And the Fed will also do something called quantitative tightening, which is the opposite of QE. If QE is money printing, creating bank reserves, and injecting liquidity, quantitative tightening is the opposite, which is we're basically doing passive QT, which is basically letting our current bond holdings mature and run off the Fed's balance sheet. Bonds typically have a set date. If it's a 10-year bond, that pays at 4% or whatever, that means they'll pay you 4% annually for the lifetime of that bond until 10 years, which is maturity. It's called the maturity date. And so quantitative tightening is when the Federal Reserve essentially just lets their current holdings mature. And and this is called passive QT. Direct QT would be if they just start unloading, like selling their bonds, selling off their balance sheet in that regard. And I think we're still doing QT. And that's something to listen for today, is whether the Federal Reserve is doing quantitative tightening still. It'll sound something like the Federal Reserve is reducing their holdings of Treasury securities or something like that is what they're saying. They're doing QT. And so that's something to listen for in today's FOMC meeting. But today, with all that said and out the way, today it's overwhelmingly expected that we are going to pause interest rates, right? So basically, we're not going to cut them down, which is a dovish set. We're not going to raise them, which is a hawkish set. We are going to pause, keep them even, because then again, we're in a period of time where if we lower rates too much, we could have inflation worries. And if the economy is too strong, there's no need to cut rates, right? The Federal Reserve is going to say, hey, if things are good, we don't need to cut rates. The only reason we should cut rates is if we start to see scary signs of incoming economic weakness, like lower GDP, higher unemployment spikes, stuff like that. And we're just not really seeing that, at least in the last couple economic reports. The payroll numbers were wildly over-expected. In the last payroll report, I'm pretty sure inflation was under-expected in a lot of ways, especially for core CPI inflation in the last CPI report. And again, this week on Friday, to get another learning kind of update on PCE inflation, is Friday at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. And so, hope all that makes sense. That is current economic landscape of the last 5 years, and that's where we're at now. When do you guys think we're going to cut rates is the big question. And I don't know. Looking at Apple. Apple got downgraded. It's dipping down this morning. Alibaba on their new AI model news is popping up a lot today. Nvidia is mostly flat, slightly down. Here's the previous closing price here. We are slightly underneath that. And so we are down a little bit on Nvidia on the day. If we look at like the QQQ or something like that, the NASDAQ, we are green on the day on the NASDAQ. Bouncing up a little bit after some weakness earlier in the week. Papa Powell's going to be hawkish? Maybe. Do y'all think he'll be hawkish or dovish today, guys? Let me know in chat. Inject liquidity into my checking account, please. Yeah, I mean, interest rates are now pretty high still, right? Like, mortgage rates came out today over 7%. And so interest rates are still pretty high. There should be multiple paths starting in early high school. Most people don't want or need to go the academic route. Yeah, I mean, it depends on the standard, right? Like, it's all like a lot of things are cyclical, and there's kind of like a pendulum effect. You see it in the political landscape right now, where the pendulum popularity is kind of swinging the other way now. And I'm not saying I agree or disagree with any of it. I'm just here to watch it. But a lot of stuff's like that. It's cyclical. There's kind of like a pendulum that goes really in one way and then back in the other way. And so, you know, it's interesting because the educational landscape has changed a lot, where people now, the issue is that they made it everybody's standard. Everybody has to go to college. Everybody has to go to college. You got to go to college. It's the standard to go to college. But honestly, man, I think it creates resentment in a lot of ways. Like, a lot of people that I know that went to college, I make more money than they do running a freaking YouTube live stream, you know? And I think that creates some resentments too. And I think people are getting degrees that are relatively useless as well, right? Like, some business degrees can be useless. Some of them are good, right? But some business degrees can be useless. Communications degrees can be useless. You know, like, there's a lot of degrees where if it's not STEM degrees, they're still having a really hard time finding any type of significant amount of work, and they're putting themselves into long-term debt from it. And the standard of like, hey, I want to go to college, I want my kids to go to college, it's getting worse, and it's getting steeper. And so, and I don't know if AI is necessarily going to help something like that either. I think it's just going to exacerbate the problem. Yeah, where's Intel at? Hawkish, dovish. Hey, thank you, Michael. Drop John some likes. Top 10 morning. Yeah, y'all hit the like button. I appreciate it. Yeah, Tesla earnings today. Let's take a look at Tesla. That is today. That's a big thing. At 396.30s right now. 396.30s for Tesla earnings. Crazy. Under 400. A lot of volatility over the last few weeks, man. This is an interesting one for sure. It's not about the money. That's the real problem of how we think, according to TJ. He said most people with college degrees are much smarter than the rest at a few topics in general studies. Yeah, but I think it depends, man. I think people without degrees are a lot smarter in some areas as well. It depends on what kind of intelligence we're looking at, because there's a lot of different types. And yeah, it really depends. I think people that go to college have confirmation bias in that they want to believe that them locking themselves into debt was worth it. And so they overestimate the benefits, or they overstate the benefits of it because they want to believe that's true. Versus, and I'm sure it swings the other way with confirmation bias in that regard, where people that didn't go to college want to believe that was the best decision, right? Human nature is human nature. And I think the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. I think there's outliers everywhere, but generally, I think somebody that goes to college is going to have an easier time getting a job. They're going to get paid more on average. And in general, they're going to be more successful. But, I think the people that are really, really successful, a lot of them did not go to college. And so I think that it balances out in some regards where entrepreneurs, like actual entrepreneurs, not somebody that just calls themselves an entrepreneur, right? But actual entrepreneurs are going to, the ceiling is going to be much higher for them as well, right? So it balances a little bit. Jerome Powell speaks at 2:30 Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, I probably agree with that, Sam. He says Finland has the best educational system. The key point, this FOMC will be if Powell will battle. Yeah, I agree. I think that's an important theme for today for sure. Oh, sorry, guys. I just need to refresh it. There you go. Again, Tesla underneath the previous close. Tesla slightly red today ahead of earnings. We also have Microsoft. We also have IBM. We have Meta earnings all today as well, chat. I'm not sure, David. Today we have Tesla earnings. Bro, nobody wants to see Jake versus Logan Paul. Literally nobody wants to see that. I think it's misplaced, them thinking anybody wants to see that. Like the only reason people want to watch Jake and Logan Paul is so that they can potentially watch the other guy beat him up. Like, how many, do you think they're actually going to throw fully at each other? Of course not. This is just a money grab. They should never even do this. This is ridiculous. Nobody should watch this fight. Everybody should hate this fight. Cash grab. They're not going to swing heavy at each other. They're going to let each other. They're going to pitter patter and just kind of circle a boo to them, man. They should be ashamed of themselves. Nobody wants to watch that. It's misplaced too. Nobody wants to watch that fight. I'm not tuning in. Nobody cares. I'm talking about Jake versus Logan Paul announcement that was just made. Two brothers fight each other, but nobody cares about them fighting each other. People only watch them to see whoever they're fighting, right? So if it's Jake versus Nate Diaz, they want to watch Nate Diaz. If it's Tyson, they want to watch Tyson, right? Nobody actually cares about those two in terms of watching them fight unless they're fighting somebody that's actually a threat to them. And we know their own brother is not going to be a threat to them. They're going to be very easy. Hey, thank you, Jeffrey. Appreciate the donation. 50%? Well, and taxes for a lot of people here get close to that. Right, for sure, Biz. I agree. He said, I think years of apprenticeship should be the beginning steps in almost every career, and then have continuing education over the years. Absolutely agree, man. Like, I'm getting my real estate license wasn't super difficult in that regard. Like I said, I'm a good test taker for the most part. And I remember from when I decided to get my real estate license to when I actually got my real estate license, it was like a week. Like, I literally was like, hey, I'm going to get my real estate license, paid for the coursework, took the exam within a few days of like the coursework, scheduled my actual real estate licensing exam, went and took it, passed it, and that was it. I got my real estate license pretty quickly. Yeah, I hope they don't sell anything. Yeah, for sure, Michael. It's one of the easier licenses to get. Well, real estate's incredibly difficult. What they don't tell you, everybody's like, I think people that are struggling to find a career path, they're like, yo, I'm going to get my real estate license. And I get it, man. That's what I was too. This was like 10 years ago. I was like, yeah, I'm going to get my real estate license. The issue is that it's a sales job that you need a huge network of people to be successful at it. The other issue in hindsight is that the ceiling's kind of small in terms of scalability of your business, right? Like, you can start your own team and you can make millions in real estate, but it's incredibly difficult to do. Incredibly difficult to do. The problem with real estate is that you need a huge network of people. Like an example, like I moved from Baton Rouge, Louisiana to Texas. When I moved here, I didn't know a ton of people. Like, I know more people now, and I have friends here, and like everything's good here now. But back then, I didn't know anybody. Like, I moved here, didn't have any friends here or anything. And so for somebody like that, real estate's the worst choice you can make, because you really need a bubble, like a network of people that you can market to. And like, I still sold some homes and like did my thing and made some money. I don't know how much I made in the first year. I probably made $12,000, $13,000 for the first year in real estate. But I learned a lot and it was useful. But the point is, to be successful, you got to market. It's sales. And that's what they don't tell you. Yeah, super saturated, 100%. Which course did you take? I used Champion's real estate course online. It was an online course. Yeah, you got to have a good client list. You got to have a good bubble of people. And that's a hard thing. Most people don't have that. Yeah, I've thought about getting back into it. I don't know, man. Like, I've thought about getting back into it. Again, every time I've tried, though, I don't have the time. I just don't have the freaking time. I do too much other stuff. Yeah. Kevin, that's probably true. That's probably true. I'm good, Gaurav. I'm good, bro. Gaurav says, I will stream on your behalf. Give me your channel. I'm good, man. All right, chat. Again, so today, my schedule is going to be, we're going to stream here, trade the opening bell, see what happens ahead of the FOMC meeting. I'm going to assume we get choppiness, to be honest. We might get volatility. I really don't know 100%, but I'm going to assume we get choppiness. Outside of that choppiness, we're going to go on Top Step TV at 12:15. At about 1 o'clock, we're going to start our own FOMC live stream, cover the FOMC decision and press conference. At 2 p.m., we are going to, or at 3 p.m. market time, we're going to start streaming the earnings release with Tesla, IBM, Meta, Microsoft earnings, all within a freaking hour period of time. After that, we're going to stream Tesla's earnings call, as well as probably Meta's earnings call as well. So, crazy busy day. Tons of volatility can come from all this stuff. Y'all just be ready, man. It really is a crazy day. Yeah, I mean, real estate's about networking, and that's good. But it's a very difficult job to start out in. Most people fail. So, like, you can start a real estate job, but you gotta be resilient, and you gotta have another source of income in the first few years, I would say. You could build up a good business after a few years. My issue is the ceiling of it. Like, I could put a bunch of work in and work my butt off and make like 150K. And I'm not saying 100 or 150K is not good, but if I'm working like all day, every day, it's not good enough for me. I need it to be scalable in a bigger way. And it is, right? Like, you could start your own team and stuff like that, but that takes a lot of time. All right, so T-Mobile earnings beat projections on mobile subscriber gains. So T-Mobile reported fourth quarter results that beat analyst projections, benefiting from the growth in wireless subscribers and internet. And so T-Mobile, what is the T-Mobile? Is it It's TMUS, yeah. Look at T-Mobile up pretty big here. Here's T-Mobile. Again, today we got Tesla earnings. We got Microsoft earnings. You can see Microsoft's mostly flat. We've got IBM earnings, which I don't even know what IBM does anymore. And then we've got Meta earnings. Meta's honestly been one of the most successful Mag 7 stocks. Look at Meta over the last 5 months, man. Look at this graph. Genuinely crazy percentage increases. And this has outperformed a lot of stuff in tech right now. Like, here's a 4-hour chart. If I put a 4-hour chart on anything else here, like, look at Baba. Wild difference between Baba and Meta. I look at even like Microsoft. There's a pretty big difference in terms of just how much in percentage Meta versus everything else is up. Look at Apple. Apple even underperforming. Google's done pretty well, though. Google's done great as well. What else? Tesla. Tesla's been volatile, but it's up a lot too. Netflix done pretty well too. So, yeah, tech has done really, really well. Netflix still up there. Here's the SPY. Put the SPY up. We're over 6s on the SPY, which is good. Yeah, today's a big day, an important day. Y'all be ready. I made 100K last year. It's not worth it. I work made more than I needed to. Money is not happiness. Absolutely, you're right. Like, what I learned of the most is that, like, there's a couple things. Burnout is absolutely real. Burnout is absolutely real. And it's all relative, you know? Like, I've said this 1,000 times, but it's really important, like, psychological aspect of business that people need to understand, which is that it doesn't feel as good as you think it does when you start to earn really good money, right? Because for me, it was a progression. Like, I remember I wanted to make $2,000 a month. And then when I did, then I started to earn like 4K a month, and then 8, and then 16, and then, you know, it continued up. But it's a progression, and if you're stressed out while you do it, it doesn't matter. And like, yeah, it makes life a little bit easier. Like, I understand that I've got like a nest egg now, and I really don't have to work if I don't want to. And that's a great feeling. But it doesn't get you past life stresses, which are big, profound, you know. A lot of stuff in life makes it insignificant in some ways. All right, guys. The FOMC day today. Ugh, I just not be crying. My eye itches. Top 3 criers in the world right now, but no, this is genuinely my eye. This itches right here. Mr. Powell's not going to be happy about the trillions Trump spent in his first week. Mr. Powell's not going to be happy. It must be nice. Yeah, we'll see. Do y'all think he's going to be hawkish or dovish? I think either one could work. I think, a pause is a more hawkish decision that we've made over the last 3 months, 4 months. And so I would understand, like, a pause being more hawkish, so he's going to have a dovish tone. I think he might be, I'm just going to guess it's going to be kind of like a neutral tone, where he's going to be data dependent. He's going to say we're going to wait and see, basically. That's my guess about what Powell is today, is basically, like, neutral. I don't think he's going to make any, like, big game-changing statements necessarily. And I think it's mostly going to be like neutral talk, data dependent talk, stuff like that. Joe, do you genuinely think he's cutting rates 25 basis points? Wait and see is dovish? Nah, not necessarily. Well, Joe, maybe I eat my words here, but Joe, you have no idea what you're talking about, brother. You are literally betting on something that's got 0.5% likelihood, brother. And I get it, you want to be contrarian, and I'm sorry. It's all love, but you have no idea what you're talking about. Maybe I'll eat my words. Listen, if I'm wrong here, you can call me. What should I do if I'm wrong? I'm not going to be wrong, right? We're going to pause. And I'm going to be sitting here saying, I told you so. Stop trying to be contrarian and betting on something that's wildly unexpected and outside of the range of probabilities. Yeah. Shave my head. Ooh, man, I don't know about that one. Even though it's still, like, very improbable. Yeah. 20 push-ups is easy, bro. I could probably do, like 65 push-ups back to back. Hawkish, it's totally hold for so much. Yeah, we're going to pause for a month or two. A mohawk? Yeah, there's no way he's cutting, guys. Like, listen, man. And again, the reason I say you have no idea what you're talking about is because people, like, and again, I'll say this again, and it's important for people to understand this, because you got some people that, like, they don't really understand, and they get themselves into these, like, mental, like, arguments in their head that make no sense. And the reason is this, okay? So Powell can say something 3, 4, 5 months ago, and then what he said last meeting can be wildly different from what he said 3, 4, 5 months ago. And so if you listen to what Powell says, and you hold on to things that he said half a year ago, and then you use that to try to influence your decision on what he does today, you're looking at it in a wildly wrong perspective, right? You're looking at it in just the wrong way. Things are so subject to change 6 months ago to now that you shouldn't be listening to anything he says 6 months ago and using that to make decisions on what he does today. You want to know what he does today, you got to listen to what he said 3 weeks ago in the FOMC minutes report. You got to listen to what he said 6 weeks ago in the last FOMC meeting. You got to look at where the economic data was, what the economic data showed, and you got to look at what the analysts expect. I'll put it this way. For years, the Fed watch tool, same day, if you look at it essentially the same day, has not been wrong once in years. And so again, the people that bet on something that's like wildly outside of expectations generally just don't understand, like, economic policy and Fed decisions. They just don't understand it, right? So they're betting on something that Powell said 6 months ago, when economic data has changed that perspective. You gotta go with what the real edge is here, and the real edge is that we're gonna freaking pause. It's less than 99 to 1% likelihood that we cut rates today. It's super improbable. Hey, thank you, Jeffrey. In my opinion, he will be dovish, so any outcome of pressure to lower rates in the future will look like his decision instead of caving. Maybe that's true. I don't know. Yeah, he's just not going to cut. And again, that's why I try to tell people. I'm trying to help people. I'm trying to show people where their flawed thinking is, right? Like, why be, like, it's fine. Listen, if we're 60-40 and we have like a 60% chance of a cut and a 40% chance of a pause, and you want to bet on a pause, which is the 40% likelihood, sure. You know, that has like some degree of variance there with just 10%. That's acceptable to bet that, right? But if we're looking at something that's literally 0.5% to 99.5%, it's silly to bet on the 0.5% outcome. It's just silly, right? And it's, you know, yeah, that's all I'll say. Another Walmart haircut? Deal. If he pauses rates, or if he cuts rates, I'll go get my haircut at Walmart. Do you think dollar index today is because the ECB cut tomorrow? I think the dollar index is from the Fed decision and big earnings today. And so if we look at the Dixie's up a lot today. What does this mean? I don't know. And maybe I'll eat my words. Listen, I could certainly be wrong here. I mean, I don't think I am, and I think it's less than 99 to 1% odds that I'm wrong. But it's possible. It's not very probable, but it's possible. So we'll see. We'll see if I eat my words today. If we do cut, I'll be the first one to, you know, make fun of myself. I'm an investor, not a gambler, and his cut or pause really makes no difference to my approach right now. Yeah, no, I mean, I get it, brother. I get it. What I'm saying is that you're wrong, you know, and he's not going to cut rates today. The easiest way to put it is that you want to follow big money. You want to know what he's about to do? Follow what big money says. And what big money says right now is that he's about to pause rates. And they've got a lot more resources than any of us here do. And so, yeah, we're going to pause rates today. Dollar index is popping up some. I will be right back, guys. I'll be right back. Give me like 60 seconds. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. I don't think the market likes this guy. Me? That hurts, man. That hurts right here. Watch him cut by 1 point. Yeah. Nah, that wasn't even a bathroom break. I kind of have to pee, but I'm just going to wait it out, bro. I got the bladder of a champion here. So, yeah. All right, so German government Wednesday slashed its 2025 growth forecast for the country's economy, Europe's biggest, to just 0.3% after it shrank for 2 consecutive years. It's much lower than the government's previous forecast of 1.1%. So yeah, now it's 0.3%. Let's see if that's really wildly affecting anything here. Yeah, looking at our poll number, 63% are bullish on today's FOMC meeting. I'm seeing a lot more bulls than bears lately. I really have. Which is interesting. I'm seeing a lot more bullish traders than bears. Did Tom Brady say something negative about referees? Honestly, I was kind of, again, Tom Brady's a little off to me. But I kind of agree with him. The NFL refs need to fix them because they're just bad, bro. They're obviously controlling games with it. I think this is pretty clear, right? Not to be a conspiracy theorist. All right, chat. All right, chat. Yeah, so look at Tesla come back down. Look at Nvidia dip here. So we are seeing some red action showing up in the market over the last like 5 minutes, chat. Look at this dip. Brutal red action showing up now. You can be off if you got 6 Super Bowl rings. Listen, Tom Brady, he's the GOAT quarterback of all time, right? This is very clear, right? Tom Brady, the GOAT quarterback of all time. Smart dude, rich dude, much richer than I am, okay? But to me, he seems a little weird. Let's just be honest here. Like, he seems a little weird. All right, his face is shiny. Like, you know, he seems a little weird to me. More power to him though. I'm against the refs as well. You know, that's all I'm saying. His face is a little too shiny and kind of like, you know. That's all I'm saying. Is his face not shiny, bro? Listen, am I wrong? There's something off-putting about a shiny face, okay? I just don't like it. It's off to me. It's weird. Didn't Giselle leave with his jiu-jitsu instructor? That's why I like Carol never doing jiu-jitsu with me ever, bro. You're never, you know. I told Carol, if you need a jiu-jitsu coach, I'll be your white belt jiu-jitsu coach here, okay? No, seriously though, Carol's actually come and trained with me. But she has a rule. She's like, I'm only training with other women. I'm not training with men. And I'm okay with that rule. It's up to her. But yeah. The earnings come out at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. Right at the closing bell is when a majority of the earnings come out. We had some earnings that dropped this morning. But ASML dropped this morning. BDPS beat revenue, good growth, decent guidance. PGR Progressive didn't, I don't know. T-Mobile BDPS beat revenue. ADP BDPS beat revenue. General Dynamics BDPS missed revenue. Tiva BDPS beat revenue. MSCI BDPS missed revenue. NASDAQ BDPS beat revenue. Danaher BDPS or missed EPS beat revenue. Hess BDPS beat revenue as well. Market's turning down here, guys. I'm trying to see if there's a reason for this. If it's not just fear from yeah. All right. So the Wall Street Journal's Nick Tamaros says, quote, with the December CPI, PPI, and import prices in hand, forecasters who do the math expect core PCE prices to have risen 0.18%. This annualizes to 2.2% according to X. Right now, if we take a look at what they're expecting for PCE on Friday and compare it to what Nick Tamaros says at the Wall Street Journal, that about coincides with the 0.2% month-over-month December expectation. And so that fits about the same. PCE, yeah, so that fits about the same. Really, I'm looking at core, though. Regular PCE might be a little bit better than expected. But, yeah, they're expecting 2.2% annualized PCE data. Core. Oh, he's saying core. So that would be a little bit better than expected if that was the case. I'm still trying to figure out why the market's dropping. Okay, so DeepSeek is no longer available in the Apple and Google app stores in Italy, according to somebody. Also, the U.S. White House says they are prepared to fight the battle regarding the fund and freeze if required. If required. Yeah, you always want to look at core PCE. No, that's not what I mean, AZ. I mean, his face is kind of shiny to me, to be honest. That's all I'm saying. Honestly, I do have my skin is dry, bro. Like I'm all flaky. I really am. Like, look, if you look at me, like, look at all this. Like, I'm all like, you know. So maybe I'm just jealous of Tom Brady's shiny face. Maybe that's true. Definitely possible. Yeah, so again, today we got Powell FOMC at 2 p.m. At 2:30, we got the accompanying press conference. Powell's going to pause rates, and then we can speculate on what kind of tone he has during the actual press conference. Outside of that, we have Microsoft, Tesla, Meta, and IBM earnings all at the closing bell today at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm pretty sure they all release at the same time. So I'm pretty sure they all release right at like 4:05 p.m. I think is when they all come out. Yeah, they all release at 4:05 p.m. Tesla, Meta, and Microsoft. IBM releases at 4:10, but they all drop 5 minutes after the bell today. So be ready for that. You're jealous of Cheddar Bob? Listen, your rhymes are generic. Mine, authentic made. You know, that's all I'm saying. Yeah. All right, guys. It's time. We got this breakdown. We're at 395s here for Tesla, 395s. All right, guys. Market might be coming off anticipation for the Fed meeting. Yeah, man, it's a big week, man. It's a big week. We got 5 minutes. We don't really have any economic data today, though. We really don't. Mortgage applications, minus 2%. Dumping into the FOMC generally means a big pump. Maybe. We'll see. No, I use a moisturizer. I really do. I use a CeraVe. It helps. It's the only thing that helped. Yeah, well, Alibaba is up big today, man. It's up to almost $100 a share. It's testing it now. If we look at like Baba here, it's up to 99.99. So it's up there for sure. Hey guys. Love you.
Love you.
Have a good day at school, guys.
Jack will come in here.
Okay. All right, guys. We got the FOMC meeting today. Show the timer for what? The FOMC meeting is much later. We'll put that up on our later stream, to be honest. Yeah, market's ready for FOMC decision today, guys. We got 30 minutes until the opening bell. It's a busy day for me, though, here. And again, if we look at the rate likelihood. Right, if we look at the rate likelihood, 99.5 to 1 still. It's pretty improbable that we're going to cut rates today, but anything could freaking happen. In March, they're expecting us to be all the way back down to 4 to 425, so we'll see. John, will you cover the earnings? Yeah, we're gonna cover all of them for sure. All the big earnings we're covering today. Again, that's why I subscribe, hit the notification bell. We're going to cover all the big earnings. Hey, hold on. My son's like screaming like he's hurt. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. My son was fine, guys. My son was fine. Yeah, we didn't have any economic data today. We had the good trades balance. I don't think it's really going to move markets, to be honest. Good trades balance, relatively insignificant. Came in at minus 22.11 billion, which means that we are importing much more than we're exporting. They expected 105.6. We ended up doing minus 122.11. And so much greater imports versus exports than expected in terms of that ratio. Market hasn't really reacted much to this. Jack's fine. He's okay. Yeah, Jack's fine. We have the FOMC. Yeah, any reports today? It's a huge report day. We got the FOMC meeting. We have big earnings reports later on today as well. So it's honestly a huge day, a ridiculously large day. And I appreciate the love, guys. Y'all hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Like, we do this live every single day right here. And so, tune in, guys. We do this live every freaking day. Help us grow the channel, to be honest. We're going to cover the FOMC meeting. If you want a one-stop shop, we cover the FOMC meeting, every major earnings release. Every major economic report. We cover CPI, PPI, PCE inflation, jobless claims, unemployment filings, non-farm payroll data, Jerome Powell speeches, Nvidia press conferences, and more. We cover it all, guys. Market's starting to break down. And so, again, if you haven't already subscribed, hit the notification bell. Thanks so much, guys. We appreciate it. It's honestly a crazy day. This is one of the days where we're going to have a huge amount of volatility, in all honesty, today. Like, we'll have a huge amount of volatility today. Canadian rate decision, I don't think is going to have any type of significant influence over anything. The Bank of Canada releases their rate decision in about 10 minutes, so they have that. It was only removed for the App Store in Italy, Kenny. So I don't think it's going to have any type of big significant move or anything. It was only removed from the App Store, again, in Italy. So how much of an influence? I don't think it's going to matter much. Also, guys, if you haven't already checked out TopStep, check out TopStep's funded account program. Again, we are on another green streak. We're like 2 or 3 green days in a row here on TopStep. Again, if you want to learn to day trade, I'm here to tell you, do not fund your own account. You're probably going to lose. Let's just be honest here. Almost all day traders lose. Doesn't matter what course you take, who you follow. Most day traders lose money. And so you can either fund your own account trying to look cool, risking thousands and thousands of dollars, or you could try a funded account program. In the futures market, I can basically day trade the QQQ price action in futures on TopStep. If you look at this right here, the QQQ, and then you look at TopStep, and I put up like the NASDAQ, the NQ, it's the same price action here, guys. It really is the same price action. And so I can draw this here. And again, you can kind of see very large breakdown here, very large breakdown here. I can day trade this left side in futures. No PDT roll patterns are very similar to blue chip stock patterns. No PDT restrictions. And so again, TopStep gives you a demo, and they test your skill with a demo account first. If you pass the test with the demo, they then fund you with a live account or with a regular account between 50K up to 150K with a 90% split. The base one's only 50 bucks. If you fail, you're out 50 bucks. It's a limited risk. Test your skill. You have to learn how to trade under pressure, but if you fail, it's not the end of the world. Versus funding your own account thousands of dollars and losing that. Much more risk doing that versus TopStep. 50 buck risk. If you pass it, you still get a 90% split, which is similar to funding your own account. And they've paid out almost $200 million in the last 4 years. They fund thousands of traders. It's just a great way to learn how to day trade. And most day traders lose. And frankly, that's probably the same here. Most day traders generally just lose. It's a lot cheaper to lose here than it is to put up your own money most of the time. Although I'm biased, you want to confirm it all with them first. I can't guarantee anything. I'm not an investment professional. Check out TopStep. I'll put it up. I'll put the link up in the description. Check them out. Great way to help support the channel. But of course, they're an affiliate of mine. I am biased because I get paid by them. And so I'm definitely biased in their favor, as I always tell you guys. You want to confirm it all with them. Understand CFTC 4.41, hypothetical or simulator performance have limitations, guys. I'm not an investment professional here. So always remember that. Understand that, guys. Be safe. Let's see if we can make some money today. And we are on a pretty good green streak. I'll put the link up for this in chat if you want to check out Top Step and kind of test your skill. It really does build your skill learning how to trade. There's the link right there. Also, 0 commission on Top Step X. And so I can literally trade 0 commission on Top Step X, make $30, $7 still net profit. The biggest edge in funding, in my opinion. And so again, we're going to get ready to trade. One of my rules is I do not trade in pre-market. I don't trade in pre-market. All right, chat. We still got almost 1,000 viewers here already, man. Crazy day today, guys. Y'all be ready. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm talking about. Don't copy me. Is it still on the screen? My bad, guys. Oh, I'm sorry. I still got the disclaimer up. Y'all got to tell me. Say, hey, John, get that disclaimer out the freaking way. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry. Beginner trading gets more viewers than CNN. Hey, thank you, Moth. Honestly, we get a lot more viewers than some of the other big networks. I mean, obviously, some of the big networks get more viewers than me, and that's okay. But honestly, we get a lot more viewers than, you know, depending on what it is, right? Like my regular streams, if you judge me by just my regular streams, it doesn't seem that impressive. But if you look at like my Fed meeting streams, my Jerome Powell streams, if you look at like my economic report streams, some of those we get big numbers, man. Like my biggest stream recently is Jerome Powell's last speech. We got like 8,000 viewers concurrently. That's a big amount, man. And that's more than Bloomberg a lot of the time. That's more than like Reuters or Barron's, you know, CNBC in some areas too. So we get pretty good numbers, man. Like you got some people that show up here and they're like, oh, bro, this streamer's a nobody. Nobody hears about him. And it's like, dude, if I was in front of 911 people, real people, I would like poop my pants, dude. I would freak out. There's no way I'd be able to sit in front of that many people and speak like I am now. And I've said it before. I'll say it again. Y'all aren't real people. Y'all are just imaginary friends here, you know, in the chat. Y'all are just imaginary friends. Y'all aren't real. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, the most streamers I ever had was, we had about 14,000 during Nvidia's earnings report about a year ago. Lux said I accidentally poured wine in my coffee without realizing there was still coffee in it. So coffee wine is not your new business endeavor, brother. No pants here? Fair. I'm not judging. Some people got mad at me for not wearing a suit on my stream. I had to tell them, like, look, I'm sitting in front of my computer at 6 a.m. Am I really going to throw a suit on here? Like, if anything, y'all should trust people less if they throw a suit on in front of their streams. It just makes no sense, right? You should trust them less if they've got a suit on. You made me a lot of money in crypto. So we're not your top 3 friends. Y'all are my top 3 imaginary friends. Remember when you start with the other guy, y'all was some shorters. Who, Mitch? You're not Kevin, and I appreciate it. Just happy you have clothes on. I mean... Does he really? I mean, look, I can't. I'm not... Meet Kevin can wear whatever he wants. I'm not talking about Meet Kevin. Meet Kevin's cool. I don't have anything against anybody. The only people I have something against... Like, I'm pretty sure he probably does it ironically. I'm talking about the people that do it non-ironically. That are like, hey guys, this is Bill's market show. Here's me in a suit. Buy my trading course on publicly available content. That's who I have a problem with. Canna becoming... Alright, chat. James Bond trader. I mean, look, if I can't trade within my underwear, what are we doing in life? You know? Yeah, we're going to be streaming Tesla. We're going to be streaming Tesla, Microsoft, Meta, FOMC meeting. We're going on Top Step TV at 11:15 Central. I'm trying to wait, guys. I mean, we don't really have much going on right now. I'm trying to sit here and wait. We got the Fed decision at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. Be ready. I'm going to trade too, guys. We're going to try to trade, at least. We'll see how that goes. Kind of nervous about it, but hey, it's all right. All right, guys. We also, again, we're working on a video. In my video, we talk about levels and how we document them. We also talk about strategies that we use to build these levels and a lot of other cool stuff. So that's coming here. We do have that we're working on in the background. Hey, beginner trading, what's your take on Nvidia stock? Nvidia, I mean, I would say it's a little extended versus where it should be in regards to like the earnings it's bringing in. The PE ratio is about 46, 45, 48 now maybe. And so that's a little high. But if the AI future is as optimistic and broad as a lot of people think and want it to be, then it still might be early and maybe it goes up from here. There's also a chance that the AI landscape completely changes, especially with the context of the DeepSeek AI model using noticeably less chip power than previously thought needed. That might change the whole AI and technological landscape and render some of NVIDIA's super ultra powerful chips more obsolete. I'm not going to say completely obsolete, but it might render them more obsolete than originally expected here. And so that's kind of where I'm at now. Hello? Okay. All right. All right. Love you guys. All right, guys. So today is John's very good, busy. I was trying to think of no good, rotten day, but my day's going to be great today. I'm going to put it out there into the world, guys. My day's going to be great. We're going to get more viewers than we ever have for the FOMC stream. We're going to get over 70,000 views. I'm going to put this out into the universe today. We're going to make a bunch of money day trading and investing today. We're going to have good reactions to Tesla, Meta, and Microsoft earnings. I'm going to put it out there in the world. I think Powell is going to pause rates today, and I think that he will have a neutral tone. Not too hawkish, not too dovish, kind of right in the middle there is what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know right now in chat. AI is getting cheaper. And honestly, though, like the problem that I have is that AI is absolutely getting cheaper. But that's not a bad thing, man. Okay, other companies making innovations and strides in AI is not a bad thing, right? What it means is that we're going to be able to have AI for a lot cheaper, a lot more powerful. That's a good thing. That's objectively good. You know, just because another country figures it out doesn't mean it's bad, right? It's objectively good, and I think that might be good for the AI sector. It might be good for Nvidia into the future. You know, acting like it's some horrible news thing, I don't know. All right, guys. And I also take my blue belt exam today. And so I don't think the promotion's today. I think I just take the exam after class. But I take my blue belt exam in Jiu-Jitsu. So I'm kind of excited about that. The only thing in the exam that I'm not super comfortable with is omoplatas. Omoplatas, I'm just not a big omoplata guy. You know, that's my quote of the day. Everything else I got down pretty well. Right. Oh, I'm definitely going to be exhausted, bro. We just got so much stuff, dude. It's literally, I'm going to stream literally all day. The only break I'm going to get today is in between when I close this stream and I go on Top Step TV at 12:15 market time. That's the only break I'm going to get all day today. You don't like rubber guard? Not really. I'm more of a top player than a bottom player in jiu-jitsu. Like, I'm more of top pressure, knee cut, passing, top pressure in offense. I'm very offensive. I play guard a little bit, and my butterfly sweeps are decent. But, like, a normal jiu-jitsu roll for me is, like, I knee cut, pass to side control, cross face them. Usually what I'll do is I'll start to threaten a Kimura. And then I'll go to north-south, basically, and I'll start to attack a Kimura. If they lock their hands together to defend it, I will transition to an arm bar on the same side and finish the arm bar is usually what I do. That's like a normal roll. If I start on bottom, it usually involves, like, threatening the arm bar immediately from guard. I like arm barring people from guard. I got an example of that is here. This is a really big guy at my gym, but let me but like here's me. You pull guard, and I like threatening the armbar here, so you can see I immediately armbar him from the bottom and catch him, you know. And so I really like guard arm bars. But it's different. I'm learning a little bit more every day. Omoplata. Big Poppy. Yeah, we're gonna stream FOMC, of course. Yeah, we stream every single one for sure. I can see many singular apps made via DeepSeek versus the one size fits all kind of system corporate. Yeah. We'll see. I'm ready. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a huge day today. We got so much stuff coming out today, to be honest. Like, so much different stuff, man. It's a crazy busy day today. And again, we're going to day trade the opening bell in about 40 minutes, chat, 40 minutes. But we got the FOMC meeting. We got CPI inflation data. We got all that stuff. I'm a big poker player too. I'd love to get some poker stuff going, but what's up, Sam? Alibaba. Yeah, so Alibaba came out this morning, said they have a better AI system than DeepSeek. That's why Alibaba's up so much today. Again, we got to look at like Tesla, though. Here's Alibaba right here on the bottom. They're up to basically $100. They hit 99.999. And honestly, I'm kind of optimistic on Alibaba, bro. Like, John, CPI is again today. Wasn't it last week? CPI is not today. No, that is incorrect. Tough to submit from guard. What do you mean? John, how do you think gold moves? Well, omoplata is hard to finish. Again, my finishing mechanic is mostly like, I like bow and arrow chokes. So like, an example of a bow and arrow choke is this. Where you like reach around their collar and grab it here is what it is. And then you sit on your butt and pull and use your legs to force them away. And then lock your legs as the last little finishing mechanic. That's like my favorite one, but everybody's different. Yeah. Well, Nvidia hit 104 today. I mean, it could. I wouldn't say it's probable for Nvidia to hit 104. All right, I'm going to put the micro NASDAQ up here. We're going to start documenting some levels here. I think we got to look at this level here. You got some levels here that look decent. I would say like here. Maybe like this spot here, maybe. See if we can like find a level. Let's see. Does that work? What about here? Okay, that works good enough. All right, so we got some levels here on the NASDAQ. It's still too early for me to trade. It's still only about 9 a.m. And so it's still a little early for me to trade. How you pulled that armbar from guard. That's my stuff, bro. That's like my favorite. It's like, again, people have to understand, like Jiu-Jitsu, bottom guard is actually an offensive position. You can hit triangles, you can hit omoplatas, you can hit armbars, which is what you saw in the video. That's like my favorite armbar. So, and it's a powerful one because you armbar people. Here, I'm going to start talking about MMA and Jiu-Jitsu too much. You armbar people, and their defense a lot of the time is to stack you, right? And then you scoop their leg, right? And you scoop their leg and pull their leg out from under them, and then boom, you land on top. And it's a super easy sweep. It's my favorite one. But I'm going to move on to the market, guys. It's the Fed meeting today. Again, the FOMC makes their big financial decision on interest rates today. Currently, we are at 425 to 450 basis points, which is 4.25% and 4.5%. This is the rate that banks charge each other to lend money overnight, but it directly influences interest rates around the country. Eventually, it trickles into auto loans and more. And the federal funds rate currently at 4.25 to 4.5%. Today, they're expecting a pause. There's no change. They're not expecting to raise rates. They're not expecting to cut rates. They're expecting to pause rates. Another nuance of today is because we have so many economic data releases as well as earnings and economic news catalysts, the market might be choppy and sideways. So to be honest, I'm going to attack a sideways range most of the day today. I think we could have big volatility, but I also think we might have some apprehension. Yeah, so we also might have some apprehension today just based off of the crazy amount of catalysts that released today. So the FOMC decision is going to be a pause. Just out of curiosity, who would win, a jiu-jitsu person or a heavyweight boxer? How big's the jiu-jitsu person? Probably the boxer, realistically. Boxing is a much better self-defense martial art, in all honesty. And this comes from somebody that trains jiu-jitsu regularly. The reason it is because going to the ground is risky. If it's one-on-one, the jiu-jitsu person. But if it's, I don't know. Again, heavy catalyst days, we might have sideways choppy action. And that's what I'm kind of expecting today, is just neutral, choppy, sideways action. All right, chat. You guys ready? Should I do a typing test? I had one that I was using. Yeah, let's try. I think all right, so look, we're breaking over this level. Let's look at 608, 610. I would say probably 610 is where we can average that level. 610, we're breaking over this spot now. We'll see if we can hold. See, sometimes they hit me with like a sleazy ad though. Let's see. So I messed up there. What do I get? Are they gonna hit me with a stupid ad? Yeah, look, it's gonna give me with a boring ad. These ads are loud too. I should have never corrected my mistakes and just kept going. All right, guys, so market's going back up. Let's watch 610. 610 level seems interesting to me, so let's watch 610. We are heading back up there. All right, I got 80 words per minute. So 80 words per minute. Could have been better, bro. I'm just under 85. I got 80 words per minute. 82 minus the mistakes. It's all right. Next time. We'll live to compete there another day. All right. No, the meeting is at 2 p.m. or 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. After market closes, Tesla, Meta, Microsoft, IBM earnings. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, of course we're gonna stream the FOMC later, chat. It's a big it's a big thing. Be ready. We got the Fed decision at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Look at that tap, guys. Look, where did we tap? Hey, we tapped freaking 610. Let's see if we hold there, but 610 is a level. See, this part of the trades that make me want to short, like base my trades around these spots. I think we'll have choppiness too, and so that makes sense. But who knows, guys? Not an investment professional. Again, I have no freaking idea what I'm talking about. I might be wildly wrong about anything and everything I say. Do not copy me. Not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose money. Are you guys red or green so far today? Oh, I paused the music. My bad. There we go. Look at that tap. So my level held here. Look at this. Look at that. Bro, this is what I'm saying. I'm making a video. I'm publishing the video probably tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow evening. I talk about this in my video. How I'm able to identify levels like this. I'm not trying to toot my own horn too much. But we literally, even if it breaks this level, look at the confirmation that we get on it. And this is what I base my trades around a lot of the time. It's why my accuracy's been decent lately. So wish me luck, guys. Again, Fed meeting day, a massive, massive day. I'm green. I'm not on anything right now. I have a rule that I have to wait until the opening bell in less than 30 minutes to do it. So I got to wait for the opening bell first, to be honest, before I trade. Red. And again, check out Top Step. So if I document the levels like I do when I use Top Step, there's a huge edge that I can have here. Like genuinely a really nice edge that I can get based around this. Like I can document levels. And what I explained in the video, I'll give you guys a little sneak peek. What I explained in the video is like, say I took a short right here, right? My risk level can be this. And I do not copy me. This is just an example. I'm not telling you to take this trade. My risk level can be this level here. My reward target can be down here, giving me like 2-to-1 or better reward to risk ratio. And that's how I'm able to find like good setups where even if I'm only right 50% of the time, I can find some good edge in markets and I can scale in. The big edge is Top Step X has zero commission too, right? So I can scale in using micros and make $7, $15, $20 a trade and still net most of the profit. Again, Top Step gives you a demo. They test your skill with it. If you pass the test, they fund you. You fail, you only lose what you pay for it. Great way to learn how to day trade. It's kind of like a souped up demo account that if you pass it, you get a lot of rewards. If you fail it, you only lose $50 a month for the base one. And that makes sense. And if you want to check it out, here's the link. Great way to help support the channel. Although, again, I get paid by them, so I'm definitely biased, of course. Understand all this stuff here. Understand CFTC 4.41, hypothetical simulated performance. But that's just a good example of like risk reward that I use in these type of trades. And it just makes sense, guys. It just makes sense. And again, we'll see if it holds. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take the trade. One trade. One contract, guys. Don't judge me. One contract here. And we're going to take that trade. Risk is up here. Reward is down here. I'm not supposed to trade in pre-market, though. I'm kind of breaking a rule here. I'm sure Pawn's going to virtually slap me. Yep, I just got virtually slapped by Dave Chappelle to Charlie Murphy. I knew I would. I shouldn't be trading right now, guys. It's my fault. I shouldn't be trading right now. Let me make sure this is in the right account. My max loss is like... Okay, yeah, that's all right. We got a big bounce back. I think if we break over this line, I got to cut it and get out for a pretty small loss and live to trade another day and just lick my wounds from breaking my rules and trading in pre-market like I shouldn't be. We got 5 minutes, especially like a choppy, indecisive day like today. I just don't know if like right now is the best time to trade pre. We'll let it test though, but not really loving it. Okay. Hey, give it to me. Look at us bounce like literally right off my entry. It hurts the most when you bounce when your entry acts as a supportive resistance level. It hurts the most out of everything. Little baby trades here this morning, guys, but hey. I think if we break over this level and hold, we're going to cut it, to be honest, chat. We got to lighten our risk parameters. I would use the same risk reward calculation that I use, but I'm breaking a rule here in pre-market. I shouldn't be trading in pre-market. I'm going to put it out there. It's going to break all the way down here to 590. But if it doesn't, I'm going to cut it and get out with a tiny loss versus a big one. Yep, out. We lost $10. We can live to fight another day later on this morning. I'm just breaking my rules in pre-market. I got to stick to my rules. I shouldn't have taken a trade in pre-market. I got to stick to my rules here. Honestly, I think it probably would work, but even still, I got to stick to my rules. I got to be stubborn. And I think this looks better too, in all honesty, but I got to stick to my rules. Yeah, this doesn't look bad in all honesty. It might work, but again, it's about my rule set. I just have to stick to it. Yeah, there we go. Should have held it, but again, I'm okay with it. I really have to stick to my rules. I know my edge is after the bell, not before it. And so I changed the trade and got out early, laced, so that I didn't, one of the rules that I have here, and again, I'll show you guys this to give you guys a little bit more understanding, right? I'm on a pretty decent green streak. Not just that, but like, here's my January month, most of my January month, at least so far. Like, look, right? This has been my most of my month of January. And so, honestly, this probably would have worked too, but I have to stick to my rules. And the reason I've been able to accomplish this here is that I only trade after the opening bell. I never trade before the opening bell. And so we got into a good risk reward situation there. And even though I should have probably held it, and it honestly looks a lot better now in hindsight, but even though all those things are true, I have to stick with my system and follow it. And I broke a rule today. And so I'd rather get out for basically a break-even trade versus risking getting myself into a hole by breaking my rules in pre-market. And so I just have to be stubborn, I guess, in that way. Even if it works out, which it kind of looks like it is. I have to... Okay, there's a good chance it's going to work out here. But if it doesn't, it's going to throw off my mental capital for the rest of the day. And today's an important day. And so that's why I cut it. All right, guys, 20 minutes. 20 minutes into the opening bell. Y'all be ready. Yeah, there's the breakdown. This would have been my reward target down here at 585 too. But that's my point. I mean, the point I'm trying to make here is that here's a risk level, tiny risk. Here's a good reward target, bigger reward targets, 2-to-1 reward to risk at least. Yeah, because it's a short, Z. All right, chat, be ready. Let's get ready here too. I think Nvidia is just reacting to the Alibaba news and stuff like that is what I think it really is. Yeah, so I was just betting that the market was going to drop. And I would have been correct, but again, I was breaking my rules to do it. Just tune in for the video I publish probably tomorrow is when I'm publishing the video, give or take. And honestly, I'm going to build this level here. This looks like it's bouncing off of this right here. So we got some confirmation in this level now too. Maybe actually like right here, give or take. We have this level right there. I'll make it that. And look at that run up too. I think the 9 EMA is mostly useless. It's too short term. All right, so look at that respect on this level here, the 610 level that we talked about too. Look at that, respecting it again here. We still got 15 minutes left. FOMC day, chat. FOMC day. No, I don't really use Fibonacci levels. What I find works the best for me personally, and everybody's different. Something I talk about in the video. I like to use short-term levels on 1 and 5 minute charts from recent history, because I think those are levels that traders look at. It's in recent memory, so they give it more weight. But other people are going to look at like big long-term levels and like look at daily charts or 4-hour charts and build levels. Everybody's different, and neither of them is right or wrong necessarily. One of the most common tells of a rookie trader is someone that thinks that their way is the only way. And I'm not talking about anybody here, just for clarification. But everybody's different. It's super subjective, and people are going to find value in different things that other people might not necessarily find value. And I know Fibonacci levels can be great though, really. But for me personally, I like documenting shorter term levels that I've seen over a 1 or 5 minute chart. That's just what works for me. Most recent levels. But one of the things I do is I leave the levels on the chart, believe it or not. So I leave the levels on the chart. Once I have good levels, as long as we stay in that range, I leave them there. You know, and if we confirm another level, I'll add it to the chart and so forth and so on. And so these levels that you see are a mix of old and new levels. And so that's kind of where I'm at now with support and resistance. And once we get multiple confirmations, like I need at least 3 confirmations usually, at least 3. But again, people are going to use different ways of doing this, and that's fine. Neither of them are necessarily wrong or right. Where is Bitcoin right now? Yeah, Bitcoin's still over 100, but a little weak now. I think it's going to depend on the Fed meeting and the accompanying reaction from the earnings reports we get today too. Hey, thank you, thanks, man. But you wouldn't have any levels above all-time highs with your method. Yeah, I mean, that's true. But in that situation, you know, an example of this, like, let me zoom out here. An example of this is, like, if we start to break over levels, I would just use recent levels. Like, in my opinion, if we break over all-time highs, that's when it's forming. Like, that's when the highs there are going to be so much more isolated because they're all-time highs, right? And that's going to make it super valid, those levels. Those new levels that it forms are going to be super, super valid because so many traders are watching them now. And that's how I kind of handle, like, lifetime high breaks and stuff. But everybody, like I said, everybody's different. Again, join our Discord. Completely free. Doesn't cost a penny. And our Discord, honestly, has had a ton of crazy growth lately, man. We've had a lot of people communicating, talking, using our Discord. It's completely free. It doesn't cost anything. And I am there sometimes, and if you ever want to reach out to me, this is where you do it. Here's the link. Check it out. Good morning. Just dumb question. What's achievable amount per day with the 150K on Top Step? If you're making around 4K to 5,000, that's considered good, or you still need to be improvement? I mean, are you talking about passing, or are you talking about already funded, Nico? Yeah, it depends. All right, guys, 14 minutes. All right, guys, we're still kind of sitting within that range that I drew here. I got to just wait. We got a double top up there at the top. That's an even more optimistic sign. But who knows, man? It's a day where I think volatility is high, but choppiness ahead of these big reports is probable, I would say. Again, not an investment professional, not liable if you lose. But I think it's like choppiness makes sense. I think it just makes sense. Yeah, but again, honestly, I just want to take a moment to say I appreciate you guys. You know, running this YouTube channel was kind of a dream of mine. I kind of built it up from, you know, I got started running this YouTube channel. And, you know, I went and saw the movie The Big Short. Fell in love with finance and markets. I was kind of a poker chess player prior to that. Fell in love with markets. You know, looked up a bunch of gurus and all that stuff and followed some of them, honestly. And it feels really good to say that, like, my channel is larger and gets more views and engagement than a lot of the gurus that I originally followed back in the day. But the channel has slowly but progressively grown faster and faster and faster to at this point now where our big streams, we're getting 5, 10, 15,000 concurrent viewers on our big ones. Almost 15,000 concurrent viewers for our big ones. You know, we got a really nice community here, really good traders, and the best thing is, like, we don't sell a course, we don't sell a service myself. I don't even claim to be good, and we're just kind of like a resource for traders, and I think that's a beautiful thing, man. I think it's something that traders absolutely need. There's too many people out here on YouTube trying to act like they're just world beaters in trading, and, you know, they're going to exaggerate and embellish, to be honest, right? I'd rather just be real about it and tell you guys I suck, and then if I do better than that, great. But it's just a really good community, and it goes to show I can tell people I'm the top 3 worst ever at something and still grow a following in that niche. So, hey, cheers to you guys. Thanks so much for the growth. We'll see what FOMC meeting does today. Shout out to Pawn for helping me grow. I appreciate the love, guys. Yeah. Well, that's subjective, Nico. How much you want to make per day is subjective, man. It depends on your own risk tolerance. Personally, I like to scale down my size once I'm funded and trade smaller because I think that has more longevity. You could also go the other route where you just kind of swing for the fences and look to get big payouts. It's a subjective thing. Everybody's different there. You deserve it, bro. No other channel reports so fast on economic news consistently. Hey, thanks so much, man. We appreciate it. Hey, thanks, Maria. Yeah, there's fees per contract, but it's 74 cents per micro contract, which is tiny. We appreciate the honesty. Yeah, that's kind of what I was going for. There's fees, but there's no commissions, right? Fees, our set amounts. Commissions typically are percentage based, but the fees are tiny, right? Like your fees are going to be everywhere in futures. But 74 cents per micro contract is very reasonable considering how much it can move. Like, yeah. Oh, I will never be an Aikido blue belt. Aikido's nonsense. Ask Steven Seagal. Yeah, appreciate the love, guys. Feels good, man. It feels good to grow it. Honestly, a lot of people made fun of it, doubted the channel. And I told people, listen, I told the haters years ago, I said, look, you can hate on me now. You're just going to have to watch me get larger and larger and larger and larger. And it's going to burn. You're going to hate it. And you love to see it, guys. You love to see it. Coming from the top 3 worst trader ever. I hope it burns. I'd say 500 to 2K is more than enough per day. Yeah, an $150,000 account. I would do percentage based, right? So I would maybe look at shooting for 0.5%. 0.5%. Win or loss, right? To where like good months you can make like a couple percent net if you have a good edge. So I would go for like, if it's a $150,000 account, I would go for like 0.5%. Or no, sorry, that's 5%. I'm sorry. I think this would be 0.5%. Nope. I have to. I'm drawing a blank on what it is. Hold on, let me calculate this. Okay, it would be $750. I should have known that already in my head. I don't know. I'm slow today for some reason. $750 a day, I think is fine. I would go with like 500. Something like that. I would go with like 325, 350, 375, like something small. Like 375 seems fine, which is 0.25%. Yeah, I'm being stupid, right? Yeah, 1% of 150K, yeah, is 1,500. Half of that is 750. I should have known that. Yeah, absolutely. I'm usually pretty good at percentages, but for whatever reason, I'm distracted today. It's less than 5% chance of a rate cut, to be honest. Yeah, it's less than 5%. It's more so, it's like 0.5%. Speaking of 0.5%. All right, so look at this, guys. So we rejected right off of the level here. Again. We did kind of go back to this spot, though, in all honesty. So there's still probably some good trades. But look at that rejection right off of this level here. Look at that. The other nuance of this today is that the 200 exponentials right here. At least your wife isn't a hater. I am a software dev and I am making something with AI no one has, and my wife won't even look at it and just talks crap about me. I mean, I'm sorry to hear that, dude. Carol's a pretty good supporter. I drive her crazy. I talk about Jiu-Jitsu all the time. I talk about YouTube all the time to her. But, like, she understands, it pays the bills. You know what I mean? Like, she knows it pays the bills, and, we've got a beautiful life, man. Carol and I can't complain about anything, dude. We really can't. Like somehow her and I just worked out and we've got a beautiful life, very fulfilling, beautiful life. Can't really complain about anything. We're both pretty happy. We got a good marriage too, for the most part. All right, chat. Still waiting here, guys. Still waiting. We got 5 minutes until the opening bell. 5 minutes. Yeah, we got 5 minutes until the opening bell, chat. 5 minutes till the opening bell. Honestly, this stream's got about 10,000 views already, man. Shout out to you guys. We appreciate the love. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Again, look, there's the 200 exponential level that we're testing here. See, it even goes to show, like, you can see we're respecting these levels, but we could still just kind of rip up. It kind of gives you a little range to watch, though, like a guidebook. Getting an ascending wedge here, really? Yeah, I can see that. I'm going to put Tesla up in the middle. We got the NASDAQ, Tesla, and Baba up here. You know what my son and I started watching yesterday? We started watching Battle Bots. Dude, I used to love that show as a kid. It's honestly pretty entertaining. All right, guys, we got 3 minutes, roughly, give or take. Yeah, 3 minutes here, chat. Hit the live button next to the play button. We'll see if we can have another green day in a row here. I'm ready. You guys ready? Hopefully y'all are. Yeah. Yeah, the one we watched yesterday, we watched one of the newer ones. All right, chat, you guys ready? Here we go. Will Powell be dovish? Your personal view? I think Powell's going to be neutral, personally. Like, I think Powell's going to be somewhere in the middle, right? I don't think he's going to be super hawkish. I don't think he's going to be super dovish. I think he's going to pause interest rates and be somewhere in the middle with his tone. So yeah, that's my take. I think he's gonna be somewhere in the middle. Oh my gosh, dude, you scared the crap out of me. What are you doing home? Oh, you dropped him off already? Whew, dude, I saw the door creep open. I'm like, who is that, bro? My wife Carol's here. Y'all want to say hey to her? I was just talking about you, saying good things mostly. I don't think I said anything bad, right? Chat would make fun of me if I did. And
well, let me see.
I mean, what are you gonna see? I didn't say anything bad.
Yeah.
They can't see you right now, though.
Oh.
There you go.
Is he talking poorly about me, or is he being nice?
I'm saying good things, bro. Good things, man. Always good things. He was complimenting you. See? Thank you for the honesty.
All right.
Yeah. All right, baby. Market opens up in 1 minute.
All right, yeah. All right.
All right, baby.
Everyone. All right, I'll let you.
All right, love you too.
Let the dogs out.
All right. All right, guys. Look at the market reject that 200 exponential. We told you guys about this level. Yeah, so look at that 200 exponential rejection here up there. Man, we rejected straight off of that level, literally to a T off of the 200 exponential. It's why we watch it on a 1 minute chart. Because look at this thing, man. Literally rejects directly off of that spot. Yeah, she's my top three. She's one of my top 3 wives for sure in the world right now. All right, guys. Yeah, we got 3 Mag 7 FOMC meeting and more today. Big day. Here's the opening bell. Good luck, chat. There's no rate hike today, gamer. There's not even an option for that. That's not going to happen. Look at that rejection on the 200 exponential here, guys. Wow. Again, we got to let the market open, play out a little bit here. Let the range flutter some here. Wait. Yeah, we're not going to cut. We're not going to raise rates today. That's a ludicrous prediction. If somebody, I don't think anybody predicted it, but yeah, I think they were mostly just asking. There's no chance we're raising rates today. It's just zero chance. Again, we're gonna pause today, guys. All right, look at this red turn here at the opening bell, guys. Let's watch this 585 level support. All right, we're 1 minute into the open, chat. 1 minute. Look at this red action, guys, ahead of the opening bell. I thought we might get choppiness today, too, but man. The Bank of England Governor Bailey says it's important that we, quote, raise the growth rate of the economy, end quote. Look at this red action, guys. Brutal. It's not Nvidia. Nvidia's down slightly, but not much. Tesla's down a little bit, but not much. Let me see if I can figure this out. Amazon. Why is the market dropping? What is dragging the market down here? Amazon's down. Is it Apple? Apple's not really down that much. Netflix? Netflix isn't down that much either. Meta? Meta's down a lot. What about Microsoft? Microsoft's down. Tesla dropped a lot, but rebounded pretty quickly here too. Look at that support hold at 264. Look at that. Literally exactly off of that 264 level. Weird open, guys. Very strange. Very odd. So Microsoft, Tesla. We got like Apple. Apple's going up. Netflix, Google. This is all the Mag 7. Nvidia. I'm gonna put two charts up here. Just Nvidia and Tesla. Alright, so now we're cracking under that. Look at all this red action coming through here, chat. Wow. A lot of brutal red action here. Is it ASML? ASML is down. But not enough to justify influencing the NASDAQ in this significant of a way, in my opinion, here. Very strange. Alright, guys, we're 3 minutes into the opening bell. We'll buy the support at 550 if we get it. It's kind of catching a falling knife, though, playing. It's a little risky, to be honest. I'm going to cut this, too, so we're down a little bit there as well. Shouldn't be catching a falling knife. Could have held it, maybe. Tesla's creeping up, though. Weird. I do see a lot of rebounds here. I'm going to buy this. Let's see if we get a pop back up. I will add to this, too, if we get a good, like, position here. There's two contracts. Took half off there. Took another half off there. So we just made most of the money back. We made about $25 there. Look at Tesla run. Tesla up to 398 here. Chat. Tesla up to 398. Had to take at least a little bit. Basically flat. I will buy this dip too. We're just going to keep one contract here. That's some red action, though. I got to cut that, too. So we basically just... I mean, we're still basically flat on the day, chat. But based off of this latest string of, like, trades, I'm going to slow down some. I'm trying to find some levels here. We got one, like, right there. Look at this red action. Big range, but choppy nonetheless since the opening bell today, guys. Big range, but choppy nonetheless. Look at that rebound, too. Nvidia's starting to creep up. I need a little bit higher, though. We'll add to down here, too. We got two contracts now. Took half off. Took the other half off. Just made another 20. We're We're now break even on the day. I'm starting to go with 2 contracts now that we get a little bit farther past the opening bell volatility. Should have held it a little bit longer, but I'm gonna buy into this dip. I'm gonna take 2 contracts here. I'm gonna take that immediately off and just get out break even on that one. I just don't like it. We'll give this little support level time to hold. Weird. Look at this volatility, man. Strange. I'm gonna get out here. I just don't like this. We're still kind of flat on the day. It's too hard to gauge price action right now. Nvidia just turned to the downside, and I don't want that to drag us all the way back down. And a lot of other stuff is just indecisive. Netflix is running up. Apple was up a little bit since the opening bell. Google's breaking down. Tesla's kind of flat since the opening bell. And Nvidia, and this is just kind of strange price action everywhere. What am I missing? We got ASML, Tesla, Netflix, Apple, Google. What Mag 7? Microsoft. Microsoft's down a lot too. Yeah, look at this red action. Yeah, I think it's driven by Nvidia. We could have choppy flat action though today, which is kind of something I'd like to bet on. Wow, look at this red. Wow. Oh my goodness, look at this red candle, guys. A lot of red showing up. Just want to see if we pop over it here at the support level. Give me some green. There we go. There we go. All right, we are now green on the day. Catching the support level at 530s that we drew. Look at that red candle, or the green candle. We're effectively green on the day, fighting our way back this morning. It took a while. Not strange. It's FOMC with 3 Mag 7. Yeah, but typically we have choppiness ahead of these things, not big volatility at the open, to be honest. Look at Nvidia completely retrace back down. Weird. Part of me wants to buy this though. Should have bought it, I think still. Yeah, I should have bought that. See, I love those huge retracement candles, but the problem is that Nvidia is kind of holding down here too. So should have bought it though still. Would have worked. No, it's not weird. That's what you should be, bro. Everybody here should be rooting that I make money unless you're a hater. Nathan says, is it weird I'm rooting for you to make money? No, it's not. The only people that hate people that make money are people who don't. Right? This is absolutely true. The biggest haters I get are people who have tried to create their own YouTube channels and failed. And somehow they like blame me for it, even though it obviously isn't my fault. But the only people that are true big haters are people who have tried to do something that they failed at it that I'm succeeding at. And whether that's trading, whether that's YouTube, or whatever it is, that's what I've noticed. All right, guys. So Nvidia is too close to the lows for me to want to long here. It could be choppiness, but look at Microsoft turn. That looks bad. Tesla still breaking down. That doesn't look good. Google down. Netflix is pulling back some. So I'm thinking about shorting, but I don't know yet. See, now we're getting some rebounds here. I wanted a short, and now I'm kind of regretting not catching it. Kind of indecisive right now, man. I don't know what I want to do. If I buy it, I could attack choppiness on the upside. If I short it, I could attack Nvidia creeping around pretty low here. I'm going to go ahead and buy this. See if we get some chop. Maybe add to it. Oh my goodness. Okay. What the heck just happened here, bro? What was that? Somebody used some big money here. We had some bad news. We don't even have any economic reports coming out today, man. What was that? Damn, dude. Now we're losing on the day. I don't know what that was. All right, now I'm bearish for sure. I don't know where that red candle came from, dude. Out of left field. Look at this. I still haven't learned my lesson though, guys. We're down only 50 bucks, so it could be worse, to be honest. Less than 50 bucks actually. So we still got a chance to make money, but we took some profit, but by the time we took it, it was... Look at this price action, man. What is this? I don't even know what direction I should take here. All right, we got out a little bit. All right. Fought our way back. We're back to flat basically on the day. The momentum on the downside is kind of scary, though. Let's see if we can find some better action here. Nvidia popping back up some, too. Well, we got 480s down here. 500 is the level that we bounced off of. I should have documented on my chart. That's actually why I bought there, but I'm looking at 530s now. We rebound back to that. We'll try a short. We could also have a long right here up to this level, but I missed it, I think. Yep, there it goes. Up to 530. Because I don't mind like, I think it's FOMC day, so apprehension makes sense. But look at Microsoft testing lows. All right, so we're going to short here like we wanted originally. And maybe add some to it too if we get a good edge. Here we go. All right, we're out. We rejected exactly off of that level at 531. And this is why levels are key here, to be honest. Look at that. Literally to a T off of my level here. Look at Microsoft start to dump, though. So our long up there would have worked, and the short we just did work too. Where'd the music go? I don't know. The red momentum is pretty strong right now so far. All right, look at that support level hold too. Look at Nvidia bouncing back all the way back up. I'll go long if we get a dip enough to go long. We need a pullback though. That's good enough, I think. We'll add to this. 2 contracts. We'll take up to 4 here. I'm going to try to fix this trade, see if we get up to 4. Took half off, but didn't really lock in. All right, so we just got out for another 30. We're now green on the day. A little bit of a emotional trade there, but we'll take it. Green on the day. A little back and forth action, though. Google breaking lows, Apple pulling back, Netflix testing lows. Lows of the day, that is. Lows of market hours. I mean, Tesla creeping down to lows too. So I would buy this, but all that stuff moving down makes me nervous. I think the market's kind of following Nvidia, though, here. So I think it's still a little early to tell, but yeah. Otherwise, I'd buy this dip if everything else looked okay. But all that red setups doesn't really make me feel good. So yeah, I'm not going to buy it. My levels, they're working though really nicely. Bank of Canada / rates. That was the catalyst? They said first, inflation has been close to 2% target since last summer. Monetary policy has worked to restore price stability. Second, lower interest rates are boosting household spending, economic activity. Potential for trade conflict. Yeah, so Bank of Canada reduces policy rates 25 basis points as expected at 3% and announces end of quantitative tightening. That's an optimistic, dovish thing. The end of QT. Nvidia looking pretty good up here. I'm going to buy this dip. It's a risky dip buy. But we'll try. How did we not lock in profit on that one, bro? That was a good trade, too. We were in the green. Nvidia dipped down quick, I guess, right there. Yeah, so now we're back red. We're kind of flat on the day there. We've been going back and forth a lot. Kind of a risky buy here, I think. So we would retrace back up. All right, we got out basically flat on one of these. I'm reducing size. Maybe could have kept it, but it's all good. We're basically flat on the day now, but this is taking too long. And honestly, Nvidia has looked kind of weak, so we got out basically flat on that trade. We're basically flat on the day now too. It would have worked, but Nvidia pulling back, it's too indecisive. I should just attack chop, I think, today. It would have worked though, buying that dip. So we're going to attack 4 contracts here, the biggest size that we've taken. If they just have it rip up in our face. I was looking to attack Nvidia short, but I'm going to reduce half the size here, just get out and then wait, see if we break down more now. We're going back and forth, but it hasn't been an easy day to make money. There's too much indecision in Nvidia and other blue chip stocks. So things are looking like better now too, but I'll give it a second. Yeah. We'll cut it. We'll switch accounts too now. Just not having good results on this one. We're not down much at all. It'll be fine. We'll switch to this one. I think my trading plan changed about 5 times in that period of time. Nvidia looking like it's coming up some here, though. Yeah, it's trying. It's fighting its way back up. We will short this level. See if we get a breakdown. Kind of fighting trend here, though. I should be trading smaller today, which I kind of am. And if this trade or two doesn't work out at this resistance level, we're just going to come back and live for another day of trading. And we took some off there. We're going to add to this winning trade. Take more off. Take more off. So far so good there. The resistance level would have worked. All right, guys. I think I'm just going to come back another day. We'll be back later on. We got Top Step TV at 11:15 Central. We'll be on there live. Be ready. If you want to check out Top Step, great way to help support your boy here in this channel. Kind of indecision, choppiness, neutral today. Kind of pitter-pattering around. But if you want to check out Top Step, here's the link. Check it out. Great way to help support your boy here in this channel. No PDT rule on futures. When you see me day trading, I'm day trading the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, the Russell, gold, some currency sometimes. Patterns are very similar to blue chips in your risk. It's like a souped-up demo. They give you a 50K demo. It's $50 a month for the base one. If you can make 3K in profit on that demo without losing 2K first, following their rules and conditions, they fund you 50K, 90% split. You get to keep your first 10K in profit, and they've paid out almost $200 million in the last 4 years. They've been around for over 12 years. Great way to learn how to day trade. It's like a beautiful middle ground of pressure. And on Top Step X, there's zero commission, so I can make these little baby trades and have basically zero commission. The biggest, remember though, they're a sponsor of mine. I'm biased, or an affiliate of mine. I'm biased. I'll be back in a couple hours. Y'all be safe. If you want to check them out, here's the link in the description. I can't guarantee anything. You want to confirm it all with them. Understand CFTC 4.41 hypothetical or simulated performance have what is hypothetical or simulated performance have limitations, guys. Is what I meant to say. With that said, link is in the description. If you want to check it out, link is in the chat. We will be back 11:15 Top Step TV. At about 12, we're going to start streaming the FOMC meeting on our channel right here. If you want to watch the full FOMC meeting, the full breakdown, not only the decision, but the actual press conference and all that good stuff, tune in live here. Be ready. I love you all. You'll have a great day. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Good luck.